As the weeks turned into months, the research teams made several breakthroughs. They developed a better understanding of how the portals functioned, discovering that they were part of a vast network connecting multiple worlds across the galaxy and potentially beyond. Each portal led to a different world, some of which were habitable, others hostile, and some utterly incomprehensible. The implications were staggering. Humanity now had access to a virtually limitless frontier, a new era of exploration and expansion that promised to reshape the future. But with that opportunity came new challenges and responsibilities. As the leader of the original expedition, Jason Robinson found himself at the center of this new era. His decisions would shape the course of human history, determining how they would navigate the complexities of the galaxy and interact with the other civilizations they might encounter. One evening, as Jason stood on the observation deck of the forward base, looking out at the alien landscape, Elena joined him. They had both been working tirelessly, but the magnitude of what they were involved in had begun to weigh heavily on them. "We're standing on the edge of something incredible," Elena said softly. "But it's also terrifying. There's so much we don't know, so many risks." Jason nodded, his eyes fixed on the distant horizon. "That's always been the case with exploration, but we can't let fear stop us. We have to keep moving forward, keep learning, and make sure we're prepared for whatever comes our way." Elena smiled, a hint of wariness in her eyes. "And we'll do it together, like we always have." As the two stood in silence, watching the alien sun set over the strange, beautiful world they had discovered, they knew that the journey ahead would be long and difficult. But it was also full of promise, an adventure that would take them to the farthest reaches of the galaxy and beyond. The portal had opened the door to a new era for humanity, and as they stepped through it, they were determined to face whatever challenges lay ahead, armed with the knowledge, courage, and unity that had brought them this far. The future was theirs to shape, and the stars awaited. The revelation. The Galactic Council's chambers were usually a place of order and diplomacy, but today they buzzed with a frenzied panic. The discovery was unprecedented. A secret human-built megastructure had been detected on the far edge of the galaxy. Larger and more complex than anything the Council's most advanced scanners had ever encountered, it defied all understanding. The structure was ancient, yet it hummed with life, its technology light years ahead of anything the Council possessed. How could the humans, a species long thought to be technologically primitive, have constructed such a marvel? And more importantly, how had they done so without the Council's knowledge? The Council's emergency session ended with an unanimous decision. An expeditionary fleet would be dispatched to investigate. Led by the battle-hardened Commander Zalax, the mission was clear: uncover the secrets of the megastructure and take control of it for the Council, by any means necessary. The stakes were immense. If the humans wielded such godlike technology, they could soon challenge the Council's dominance over the galaxy. This could not be allowed to happen. Commander Zalax stood on the bridge of his flagship, his eyes fixed on the massive structure displayed on the view screen. His mandibles twitched with unease as he observed the sensor readouts. The megastructure was impossibly vast, dwarfing anything the Council races had ever constructed. Its surface was a labyrinth of twisting spires, pulsing conduits, and cavernous openings that seemed to defy the laws of physics. "Sir, we're detecting energy signatures emerging from the vicinity of the megastructure," reported the sensor operator, her voice tinged with anxiety. Zalax leaned forward, his clawed hands gripping the command console. The viewscreen shifted to reveal a small group of ships unlike any he had ever seen. Sleek and angular, their hulls were a seamless blend of matte black and gleaming silver, bristling with weapon placements that hinted at destructive capabilities far beyond the Council's own warships. "Hail them," Zalax ordered, his voice steady despite the growing tension on the bridge. The communications officer tapped at his console, sending out a standard greeting on all frequencies. Seconds ticked by, the silence broken only by the hum of the ship's systems. Zalax's eyes narrowed as the unknown vessels continued their approach, ignoring the hail. No response, sir, the communications officer reported, his voice strained. Zelax watched as the mysterious ships took up defensive positions around the megastructure. Their movements were precise and coordinated. It was clear they were not here to negotiate. They were here to protect the structure from any intrusion. Sir, their weapons are charging. The tactical officer shouted, his fingers flying across his console. Zelax held up a hand, his mind racing. Engaging in a firefight with an unknown adversary, especially one with such advanced technology, was a risk he couldn't afford to take, not without more information. Hold fire, he commanded, his voice cutting through the rising tension. Helm, withdraw the fleet to a safe distance. Maintain sensor contact and continue monitoring the situation. As the Council ships pulled back, Zelax settled into his command chair, his thoughts churning. Who were these mysterious defenders, and what was their connection to the megastructure? The Council needed answers, and fast. Light years away, in the heart of the Galactic Council headquarters, the debate raged on. Representatives from 100 worlds argued and shouted, their voices rising in a cacophony of fear and confusion. We must strike now, before they have a chance to turn that monstrosity against us. A bulbous-headed delegate from the Zorgon Confederacy demanded, slamming his fist on the table. And risk starting a war with an enemy we know nothing about, countered a slender, iridescent-scaled representative from the Quarry Republic. We must seek a diplomatic solution, learn more about their intentions. The arguing continued, each side presenting their case with increasing fervor. Suddenly, a hooded figure stepped forward, silencing the room with a raised hand. It was the Archmage of the Celestial Order, an ancient and enigmatic species known for their mastery of the arcane arts. There is more to this than meets the eye, the Archmage spoke, his voice a whisper that carried to every corner of the chamber. The ships defending the megastructure have been identified. A holographic display flickered to life in the center of the room, revealing a series of images and data readouts. The assembled representatives gasped as they recognized the distinctive design of the unknown vessels. Humans, the Archmage confirmed, his voice heavy with the weight of centuries. A species that vanished from the galactic stage long ago after a series of conflicts and betrayals that left deep scars on their collective psyche. The Council members exchanged uneasy glances, the implications of this revelation sinking in. The humans, once a fledgling member of the galactic community, had withdrawn from the stars, isolating themselves on their homeworld. Now it seemed they had returned, and with technology that far surpassed anything the Council had ever seen. The Galactic Council chamber erupted into chaos. Shouts of disbelief and outrage filled the air as the representatives struggled to process the revelation of humanity's involvement with the megastructure. This cannot be, the Zorgon delegate shouted, his bulbous head quivering with rage. The humans were nothing more than primitive savages when they left the galactic stage. How could they have built something so advanced? A tall, slender arachnoid representative rose from her seat, her multiple eyes glinting with barely contained anger. Have you forgotten the treachery of the humans? She hissed. How they turned on us after we welcomed them into our community with open arms. They betrayed our trust and exploited our generosity for their own gain. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber as other representatives chimed in, recounting the bitter history between their species and the humans. We offered them friendship and cooperation, a reptilian delegate snarled, his forked tongue flicking out in agitation, and they repaid us with deceit and violence. The Archmage listened to the growing tumult, his ancient eyes filled with sorrow. He raised a narrowed hand, and the room fell silent. The humans were driven to the brink of extinction by the actions of those they trusted, he said, his voice heavy with the weight of centuries. In their desperation, they lashed out with a fury that caught us all off guard. Images flickered to life on the holographic display, showing the devastation wrought by humanity's retribution. Smoldering ruins of once great cities, twisted wreckage of destroyed warships, and the broken bodies of countless aliens littered the scenes. The representatives watched in stunned silence as the toll of humanity's vengeance played out before them. Their advanced weaponry and tactics crippled our military and economic infrastructure. The Archmage continued, his voice barely above a whisper. In a matter of weeks, they brought the most powerful species in the galaxy to their knees. The images faded, replaced by a single stark message, the ultimatum issued by the humans centuries ago. They withdrew from the galactic stage, severing all contact with the other species, the Archmage said, his eyes fixed on the glowing text. But they made it clear that any attempt to interfere with their affairs or violate their territory would be met with swift and merciless retaliation. The chamber was silent for a long moment, the weight of the past hanging heavy in the air. Finally, a small, timid voice spoke up from the back of the room. It was the representative from the Quarry Republic, her iridescent scales shimmering in the dim light. In the centuries since the humans left, we have dismissed them as a primitive and self-destructive species, she said, her voice growing stronger with each word. We assumed they had sealed their own fate, doomed to wither away. The enigmatic defenders. Commander Zalax stood at the helm of his flagship, the weight of the Galactic Council's orders heavy on his shoulders. The view before him was awe-inspiring, yet filled with dread. The secret human megastructure loomed on the screen, dwarfing even the largest council ships. Its surface was a maze of twisting spires, glowing conduits, and massive openings that seemed to defy the laws of physics. It was a masterpiece of engineering, but one that left the seasoned commander feeling deeply uneasy. "Sir, we're detecting energy signatures," the sensor operator reported, her voice tinged with anxiety. "Multiple contacts approaching fast." Zalax's eyes narrowed as the view screen shifted to reveal a fleet of ships, sleek and angular, with hulls that glinted ominously in the light of the distant stars. These vessels were unlike anything Zalax had ever seen, matte black and silver, bristling with weaponry that hinted at destructive capabilities far beyond that of the Council's own warships. "Hail them," Zalax ordered, his voice steady despite the tension that gripped the bridge. The communications officer sent out a standard greeting, but the seconds dragged by with no response. The unknown ships continued their approach, ignoring the Council fleet's attempts at contact. Their movements were precise, calculated. They were taking up defensive positions around the megastructure, clearly intent on protecting it from any potential threat. "Sir, their weapons are charging." The tactical officer's voice broke through the tense silence, his fingers flying across his console. Zalax hesitated, his mind racing. Engaging these mysterious ships in a firefight was a risk he couldn't afford, not without more information. "Hold fire," he commanded, his voice cutting through the rising tension. "Helm, withdraw the fleet to a safe distance. Maintain sensor contact and continue monitoring the situation." As the Council ships retreated to a safer range, Zalax settled into his command chair, his thoughts a whirlwind of questions. Who were these mysterious defenders, and what was their connection to the human-built megastructure? One thing was clear: the Galactic Council needed answers, and fast. Meanwhile, light years away at the heart of the Galactic Council headquarters, a heated debate raged on. Representatives from 100 worlds shouted over one another, their voices a cacophony of fear and confusion. "We must strike now, before they turn that monstrosity against us," demanded the Zorgon Confederacy delegate, his bulbous head quivering with anger. "And risk starting a war with an enemy we know nothing about," countered the representative from the Quarry Republic, her iridescent scales shimmering in the chamber's dim light. "We must seek a diplomatic solution and learn more about their intentions." The argument continued, each side growing more fervent with each passing moment. But as the debate reached a fever pitch, a hooded figure stepped forward, raising a hand to silence the room. It was the Archmage of the Celestial Order, an ancient and enigmatic being known for his mastery of the arcane arts. "There is more to this than meets the eye," the Archmage intoned, his voice a soft whisper that nonetheless carried to every corner of the chamber. The ships defending the megastructure have been identified. A holographic display flickered to life in the center of the room, revealing a series of images and data readouts. The assembled representatives gasped as they recognized the distinctive design of the unknown vessels. Humans, the Archmage confirmed, his voice heavy with the weight of centuries. A species that vanished from the galactic stage long ago, after a series of conflicts and betrayals that left deep scars on their collective psyche. Uneasy glances were exchanged around the chamber. The implications of this revelation were staggering. The humans, once a fledgling member of the galactic community, had withdrawn from the stars, isolating themselves on their homeworld. Now, it seemed they had returned, and with technology far surpassing anything the Council had ever seen, the Galactic Council chamber erupted into chaos once more, as shouts of disbelief and outrage filled the air. The Zorthan delegate slammed his fist on the table, his bulbous head quivering with rage. This cannot be. The humans were nothing more than primitive savages when they left the galactic stage. How could they have built something so advanced? A tall, slender arachnoid representative rose from her seat, her multiple eyes glinting with barely contained anger. Have you forgotten the treachery of the humans? How they turned on us after we welcomed them into our community with open arms? The Archmage listened to the growing tumult, his ancient eyes filled with sorrow. He raised his hand once more, and the room fell silent. The humans were driven to the brink of extinction by the actions of those they trusted, he said, his voice heavy with the weight of history. In their desperation, they lashed out with a fury that caught us all off guard. Images flickered to life on the holographic display, showing the devastation wrought by the humans' retribution. Smoldering ruins, twisted wreckage, and the broken bodies of countless aliens filled the screen. The representatives watched in stunned silence as the toll of humanity's vengeance played out before them. Finally, the images faded, replaced by a single stark message, the ultimatum issued by the humans centuries ago. They had withdrawn from the galactic stage, severing all contact with the other species, but they had made one thing clear: any attempt to interfere with their affairs or violate their territory would be met with swift and merciless retaliation. The chamber was silent for a long moment, the weight of the past hanging heavy in the air. Finally, a small, timid voice spoke up from the back of the room. It was the representative from the Quarry Republic. In the centuries since the humans left, we dismissed them as a primitive and self-destructive species, she said, her voice growing stronger with each word. We assumed they had sealed their own fate, doomed to wither away in isolation. But the revelation of their involvement with the megastructure forces us to confront the unsettling reality that we were wrong. The Archmage nodded, his ancient eyes glinting with a mix of admiration and apprehension. The humans have shown us the depths of their resilience and the heights of their ingenuity, he said, his voice carrying a note of warning. We must tread carefully in our dealings with them, lest we unleash the full might of their vengeance once again. As the representatives mulled over the Archmage's words, a sense of unease settled over the chamber. The humans, once dismissed as a primitive and forgettable species, had returned to the galactic stage with a power and purpose that could not be ignored. The Council knew that the fate of the galaxy itself might hang in the balance of their next move. The fleet's dilemma. Commander Zerlax was deep in thought as he studied the holographic display in his flagship's command center. The Galactic Council's orders were clear: establish contact with the humans, demand an explanation for their megastructure, and use force if necessary. His mind, however, was plagued by doubts. He had read the records of humanity's past, a species capable of both tremendous creativity and ruthless vengeance. Confronting them now, given their advanced technology, felt like stepping into the jaws of an unknown beast. "Commander," a voice interrupted his thoughts. It was his first officer, Ilaris, with a concerned look on her face. "We've received a transmission from the Council. They're pressing for updates." Zerlax nodded, trying to shake off his unease. "Prepare a response. We need to report our status and request additional guidance." Elaris quickly relayed the message to the council, and soon the screen displayed the anxious faces of the council's representatives. The Zorgon delegate's expression was one of barely restrained fury. "Commander Zolax, this is unacceptable," the Zorgon representative snapped. "You are to proceed with the directive immediately. We need answers from the humans, and we need them now. If you delay, we risk losing control of the situation." Zolax took a deep breath. "I understand your urgency, but the situation is more complex than it appears. The humans are clearly defending their megastructure with advanced technology. Engaging them in battle without understanding their capabilities could be disastrous." The Quarry representative, her scales shimmering in the holographic light, spoke up with a note of concern. "Commander Zelax, the Archmage has warned us of the humans' potential for fierce retaliation. Is there no way to approach this situation more cautiously? We must balance our desire for information with the need to avoid unnecessary conflict." Zelax glanced at the holographic display, where the enigmatic megastructure loomed ominously. He knew that the fate of the galaxy might hinge on their next move. "I will attempt to establish a more diplomatic channel. However, I must be prepared for any eventuality." The representatives nodded in agreement, though their faces remained etched with concern. The line went dead, leaving Zelax and his crew with a weighty silence. The commander turned to his tactical officer, Varric. "Begin preparations for a potential engagement. We need to be ready for any scenario. Meanwhile, send out another message to the humans, this time requesting a formal dialogue. If they refuse or respond aggressively, we must be ready to defend ourselves." Varric's fingers flew over the console as he relayed the orders. "Message sent, Commander. We've also fortified our defensive systems and enhanced our shields." Zalax nodded. "Very well. We wait for their response." Hours passed in tense anticipation. The crew moved with practiced efficiency, each member aware of the gravity of their situation. The commander couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the brink of something monumental. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, and the humans' next move would be crucial. The human perspective. Meanwhile, on the far side of the galaxy, within the heart of the human megastructure, the scene was one of high alert. The interior of the megastructure was a marvel of engineering, vast, cavernous spaces lit by pulsating conduits of energy. Advanced technology was evident in every corner, from the intricate control panels to the sleek, highly automated defense systems. Admiral Sophia Carter, a seasoned leader with a reputation for strategic brilliance, paced the control room. Her face was a mask of calm determination as she reviewed the latest reports. The sensors had detected the arrival of an alien fleet, one that appeared to be probing their defenses. She knew that this moment would define humanity's place in the galaxy. "Admiral, we have a transmission from the Galactic Council," a young officer reported. "They're requesting a dialogue." Carter's eyes narrowed. "The Council is more aggressive than we anticipated. Prepare a secure channel for the communication. We need to understand their intentions." As the communication channel was set up, Carter took a deep breath and activated the holo display. The faces of the Council representatives appeared, their expressions a mix of curiosity and suspicion. "This is Admiral Sophia Carter of the United Earth Defense Fleet," she began, her voice steady and authoritative. "We've received your request for dialogue. I'm prepared to answer your questions, but I must first understand why you've come to our doorstep with such a large force." The Zorgon delegate took the lead. "Admiral Carter, we are here because of the megastructure you've built. It is unlike anything we've ever encountered. We wish to understand its purpose and the technology behind it." Carter's gaze remained steady. "Our megastructure is a product of our own advancement and ingenuity. It is a defensive measure, not an offensive one. We've isolated ourselves for centuries, but our technology has continued to evolve. The fact that you've detected it indicates that your scanners are becoming increasingly sophisticated." The Quarry representative spoke next. "We've learned that humanity has a history of severe retaliation. Are we to expect any form of aggression from your side if we do not comply with your demands? Carter's expression softened slightly. Our primary goal is to protect our home and our people. We have no desire for conflict. However, we will defend ourselves if provoked. We seek a peaceful coexistence with the galactic community. Your actions and responses will guide our next steps. The Galactic Council representatives exchanged glances, clearly weighing Carter's words. The tension was palpable as they considered the implications of the humans' statements. "Very well, Admiral," the Zorgon delegate finally said. "We will consider your response. However, be aware that the Council's patience has limits. We expect you to uphold your commitment to peace." The transmission ended, and Carter turned to her officers. "We need to prepare for all possible scenarios. The Council's response will determine our next course of action. Until then, maintain readiness and ensure our defenses are at their peak." As the crew of the Megastructure carried out their orders, Carter felt a mixture of pride and apprehension. Humanity's return to the galactic stage was a pivotal moment, and their actions would set the tone for future relations with the Council and the rest of the galaxy. A diplomatic standoff. The Galactic Council's waiting game was filled with tension as they awaited a response from the humans. The representatives' debate had shifted from heated arguments to cautious discussions about how to handle the new developments. The Council was divided between those who favored aggressive action and those who believed in diplomatic negotiations. Commander Zerlax's flagship hovered at a safe distance, its crew on high alert. The tension was palpable on the bridge as they awaited any sign from the humans. The crew continued their monitoring, but the atmosphere was thick with anticipation. Suddenly, an incoming transmission signaled a new development. The screen displayed Admiral Sophia Carter, her expression resolute and calm. "Commander Zerlax, I am Admiral Carter," she said. "I appreciate your willingness to engage in dialogue. We are prepared to discuss the nature of our megastructure and our intentions. However, I must emphasize that any aggressive action against us will be met with a strong defense." Zerlax studied her image carefully. The humans appeared sincere, but appearances could be deceiving. He needed to tread carefully. "Admiral Carter," Zerlax responded, "we have been instructed by the Council to investigate your megastructure and ensure it poses no threat to the galaxy. We are here to understand and, if necessary, to protect our interests. I hope that our intentions align." Carter's gaze remained steady. "Our goal is to ensure mutual safety and to establish a peaceful relationship. We have no intention of threatening any galactic power. Our isolation was a choice, and our technology is meant to safeguard our world." Zerlax considered her words carefully. "The Council is concerned about the implications of your advanced technology. If you are willing to cooperate, we can work towards a resolution that satisfies both parties." The two leaders continued their dialogue, exploring various aspects of the megastructure and its technology. Carter provided detailed explanations and offered to allow a limited inspection of the structure to demonstrate their transparency. As the conversation progressed, the tension on both sides began to ease. Zerlax was struck by Carter's genuine willingness to find common ground. Yet, he knew that his next steps would be crucial in determining the outcome of this diplomatic standoff. The hidden threat. As negotiations between Commander Zerlax and Admiral Carter continued, an unsettling discovery emerged. The Council's intelligence unit detected a series of unusual energy signatures emanating from the edge of the human megastructure. These signatures suggested the presence of additional, hidden technologies, ones that were not immediately apparent. Zerlax convened a strategy meeting with his senior officers. "We've detected anomalous energy patterns from the megastructure," he said. "It's possible that there are elements within the structure that we have not yet uncovered. We need to investigate these anomalies while maintaining our diplomatic stance." The tactical officer, Varric, nodded. "We're preparing to deploy a series of probes to gather more information. We'll need to be cautious to avoid escalating the situation." As the probes were launched, the Council's representatives awaited the results. The probes revealed a series of concealed compartments within the megastructure, each filled with advanced technology and weaponry. The implications were troubling. If the humans had hidden these assets, it could mean they were preparing for something significant. Zelax reported the findings to the Council. We've uncovered hidden technology within the megastructure. While it appears to be defensive in nature, the extent of its capabilities is still unclear. We must approach with caution. The Council's representatives were alarmed. If the humans are concealing such technology, it could be a sign of impending aggression. We cannot afford to ignore this potential threat. As the debate raged on, Admiral Carter received word of the discovery. She convened her own council, consisting of her most trusted advisors. "This is a serious development," Carter said, her face a mask of determination. "We need to address these concerns transparently. If the Council believes we are hiding something, it will undermine our efforts to establish trust." The advisors nodded in agreement. "We must provide the Council with access to these areas and demonstrate our commitment to peace. We can't afford to let misunderstandings escalate into conflict." Carter sent a transmission to Zalax. "Commander, we acknowledge the Council's concerns. We are prepared to allow an inspection of the concealed areas within the megastructure to verify our intentions. We request that this be done in a manner that respects both our security and your need for assurance." Zalax reviewed the proposal with his team. The offer of inspection was a positive step, but it also carried risks. He needed to ensure that the process would be conducted fairly and without compromising their own security. "Very well, Admiral," Zalax replied. "We will arrange for a team to conduct the inspection under mutually agreed-upon terms. We hope this will help to clarify any uncertainties and pave the way for continued dialogue." As the inspection preparations began, both sides braced for the critical moment when the hidden aspects of the megastructure would be revealed. The outcome of this inspection would be pivotal in shaping the future relationship between humanity and the Galactic Council. The revelation. The day of the inspection arrived, and a carefully selected team of Council inspectors boarded a specially designed shuttle to the human megastructure. Their mission was to assess the hidden technology and ensure that it aligned with the assurances provided by Admiral Carter. As the team entered the megastructure, they were awestruck by its sheer scale and complexity. The concealed compartments were revealed to be sophisticated defensive systems, advanced energy shields, automated defense drones, and powerful weaponry designed to protect Earth from external threats. Admiral Carter guided the inspectors through the various sections, providing detailed explanations and answering questions. The inspection team, led by Commander Zalax's chief engineer, was thorough and meticulous in their evaluation. After hours of scrutiny, the inspection team completed their assessment. Commander Zalax, who had accompanied the team, was impressed by the transparency and professionalism displayed by the humans. "We have completed our inspection," Zalax said, addressing Admiral Carter. "The hidden technology within the megastructure is indeed as you described, defensive in nature and designed to protect your world. We are satisfied with the findings." A sense of relief washed over the crew of the megastructure. The successful inspection was a significant step towards easing tensions and building trust. Admiral Carter extended her hand. "I appreciate your cooperation and understanding, Commander. We hope that this marks the beginning of a positive relationship between humanity and the Galactic Council." Zalax shook her hand, a gesture of goodwill and mutual respect. "We look forward to continuing our dialogue and working together for the benefit of all. The discovery of your megastructure has opened new avenues for cooperation and understanding." As the Council's fleet departed, the atmosphere on both sides was one of cautious optimism. The hidden threats had been addressed, and the path to a peaceful coexistence appeared to be within reach. The Galactic Council's representatives held a final meeting, reflecting on the events that had transpired. The Zorgon delegate, though still wary, acknowledged the positive outcome. "This has been a challenging but enlightening experience," he said. The humans have demonstrated both their capabilities and their commitment to peace. We must continue to engage with them constructively. The Quarry representative agreed. The path forward will require patience and diplomacy, but it is clear that humanity has a place in the galactic community. We must work together to ensure a future of cooperation and mutual respect. As the council's session concluded, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter. Humanity had reasserted its presence in the galaxy not through conquest, but through diplomacy and mutual understanding. The megastructure, once a symbol of isolation, now stood as a beacon of a new era, one of hope, collaboration, and a shared future among the stars. And so, as the Galactic Council and humanity embarked on this new chapter, they did so with the promise of a future defined by exploration, respect, and the boundless potential of interstellar unity.